What are the three dangers of money that God warns us about? You see on the slide, number one is pride, and we're going to look at those verses, chapter 28, verse 22. Number two is the uncertainty of money and wealth and how hard it is, and it's very interesting how God describes it in 23, 4, and 5. And then the ultimate danger, misplaced trust. And what that means is that God says you can trust your money. So let's go through these. Open in your Bibles to chapter 28 and look at verse 22. It says, a man with an evil eye hastens after riches and does not consider that poverty will come upon him. What God says is that a man with an evil eye, a man who is, remember over here, the lost, rebellious, proud person, is just living, and his money he's pursuing for himself. And the danger of money is that we pursue it just for ourselves, for pride purposes, that I can use my money to show off what I have, my possessions or my lifestyle. That's the first danger. The second danger is back in chapter 23. Not only is pride one of the things that we should be aware of that comes with wealth, it's uncertainty. Proverbs 23, verses 4 and 5. Do not overwork to be rich, because of your understanding cease. Will you set your eyes on that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings, and they fly away like an eagle toward heaven. You know what one of the dangers of wealth is? The uncertainty of wealth. How it appears for some people that they get all this money and it's just gone. Look at the lottery winners. You want to do a study? There have been so many major news organizations that have followed these who have made a fortune on a lottery ticket that they bought somewhere and had no idea what to do with money, and the money had wings and it flew away. God says there's great uncertainty in riches. There's another one, chapter 30, and this is really the biggest danger of money. Chapter 30 of Proverbs and verses 8 and 9. Remove falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Why? Feed me with the food allotted me, lest I be full and deny you and say, who is the Lord? Whoa. What is that? I say, I don't need the Lord. I have my money. See, we trust in God, not our riches. The danger is trusting in the riches, not in God. God says there are three dangers that we face with our money. Being proud about it, or thinking it's never going to go away and not realizing that it's temporal and uncertain, or if we have it, trusting in that possession, that money, that job, that income, that career, rather than in God who gave it to us. So beware of those three dangers of money. Now, the book of Proverbs is fascinating. The next slide is just stepping back, looking at all 31 chapters of Proverbs and surveying them and say, what does God say causes some people to have financial troubles? And basically, here is the list that you can find. And by the way, there are probably many more, but combing through, the ones that jump out immediately are, number one, stinginess. Number two, hastiness. Number three, stubbornness. Number four, laziness. Number five, drowsiness. Number six, indulgence. And number seven, emptiness. Now let's go through these one at a time, starting in Proverbs 11 and verse 24. And I'm just going to read these one after another and repeat this danger that causes people to have financial trouble. The first one is stinginess. It says in Proverbs 11:24, there is one who scatters yet increases more. Remember, we already covered that verse, but look at this. There is one who withholds more than is right, but it leads to poverty. What causes some people to have financial problems? They're stingy. Their hearts are so grasping money that God resists them and they have financial troubles. Look at chapter 21, verse 5, Proverbs 21:5. This is what it says. The plans of the diligent lead surely to plenty, But everyone who is hasty, it leads to poverty. Hastiness. Those who don't think fully through of the implications of the financial decision they're making, the purchase they're making, the debt they're incurring, the whatever, the upkeep of the possession they're getting. God says, don't be hasty. Chapter 13 and verse 18, it says, beware of this, beware of stubbornness. Poverty and shame will come to him who disdains correction. He who regards a rebuke will be honored. What the Lord says is, if you're stubborn and you won't listen, most of us have the benefit of wonderful people around us to say, I wouldn't do that if I were you. They'll look at us and they'll say, I've already tried that and it didn't work. And there's some people so stubborn, they think because of their pride that they know better than everybody else. And what the Lord says is there's a cause for people to have financial troubles. They might be stingy, they might be hasty, or maybe it's stubbornness. Or look at chapter 20 and verse 13. The Lord said, here's another one, 20:13. Don't love sleep, lest you come to poverty. Open your eyes and you'll be satisfied with bread. That's laziness. It's a person who doesn't they just want to lounge around, stay in bed all day, and they just think someone will give them something. And that goes right with chapter 23, and look at verse 21, the second half of it. It says, and drowsiness, verse 21, drowsiness will clothe a man with rags. See, it's the second half, 21b. Someone who is drowsy, they just say, I just can't start the day. That's too big a project. I'm just going to go lay down. Drowsiness leads to financial troubles, as well as, look at chapter 23, the first part of verse 21. For the drunkard and the glutton will come to poverty. That's indulgence. The drunkard and the glutton, the one that drinks too much alcohol, the one that eats too much food. Indulgence and drowsiness are a pathway to financial ruin. And the last one, chapter 28 and verse 19. 28 and verse 19. He who tills his land will have plenty of bread. But look at the end of that 19th verse. But he who follows frivolity will have poverty enough. What's frivolity? It's emptiness. It's just doing something that has no meaning. And what the Lord says is, if you really want to struggle in life, then be stingy with what money you have, or be hasty in making financial decisions, or be stubborn and not listen to any correction, or be lazy and don't even get out there and work, or be drowsy all the time and find an excuse to not finish things, or be indulgent, overeat, and overdrink, or just follow frivolity. You know what I've just described? There are so many people in life that are this way. Now remember how the whole book of Proverbs starts out way back when we started this, and I read to you those verses, said, my son. Solomon, originally 3,000 years ago, took Rehoboam, his son, and stood him in front of him and said, Rehoboam, look over there. Do you see that person who is causing a fight? They're going to get in trouble. They shouldn't meddle with other people's. Look over there. Do you see that person laying on the bench and not doing any work? They are lazy and they're going to, and look over here. Do you see that woman? She's enticing that man. She's a harlot, and you shouldn't. And the whole book of Proverbs, beginning with that part of Solomon explained to Rehoboam in chapter 3, that whole picture is pointing out people that were headed the wrong direction. And if you see people that are stingy and hasty and stubborn and lazy and drowsy and indulgent and empty frivolity, they're headed for financial troubles. I just read in the newspaper that one very famous movie star has earned $70 million from making movies. And his current spending, he spent $90 million. And the banks were coming after him because he owed $20 million that he didn't have. Now, that is a classic example that Solomon would have pointed out to Rehoboam and that God warns us of.